Hello, my name is Washboardjim. I'm the founder and thinking strategist behind the Sneaky Snake trading strategy, where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And today's lesson is going to be what I call a case study. This is what I did for many years. I'd have a certain case study each week to learn something new and constantly learning. I think this is a game where you just want to keep learning. You just don't want to get complacent. You got to change with the market. You got to come up with new ideas. Some new ideas could help your old ideas and kind of equilibrium them out. I've learned so much. I got so many different trading strategies. Well, here's a new one that I'm going to try this week. I was watching this guy named Anthony. I mean, geez, I never seen anybody trade like that, like me. I mean, he said, all you got to do is learn how to count to three. And that's the first time I've ever seen anybody. And this guy has a lot more experience than I do. And I got 22 years behind the sheets. So this strategy is going to be something that he kind of trades. And I want to learn how to do it. And I've already, just looking at the chart, I've already got a good idea how I want to trade it. Probably not the way he wants to trade it, because I've got a little bit more experience in staying in them a little bit longer than just a couple of ticks, a couple of beats, and in and out, a couple of 2-minute candles. I'm going to be using the 2-minute time frame, and I'm going to be using moving averages, and I'm going to be using chart patterns, and I'm going to still keep using my resistance and support levels, but I'm only going to do it with 2 moving averages. So this is going to be the case study. I think if you become complacent in this game and you only have one idea on how to trade, that's fine, but you're going to be waiting longer for the setups. And if you have a bunch of different trading strategies and you look at different time frames, I think you can get a lot more trades in. But this week I'm going to be I'm going to use the 1 minute, but I'm going to be using the 2-minute time frame along with all my other time frames when I'm looking for a support and a resistance level. But basically, mostly support and how to stay in a trade. So this is going to be my chart of the week next week. I got 2 moving averages on here. In fact, I think I need to change this one here, kind of get it a different color, because that gold. So let's see what we got in here. How would be not a red, not a blue. How about this green? Fluorescent green right there. And let's make it 1 line bigger. Yeah, that'll work. That kind of calms down the pattern a little bit, and you can tell the blend into the different. So I've got the 200 SMA and the 220 SMA. Now, I'm a knife catcher. So this was Friday. Let's get up here and get this out a little bit farther. 2-minute, 2-day. There we go. See how we bounced off the 200? See how we came down here? This is a perfect pattern for a breakout. Snake, breakout, pull back into a falling wedge, boom, to a double top. This guy's good, and I'd like to spend about an hour with him and show him my strategy, how I could guarantee he can make 4 or 5 times as much money. But he's offering a safe in and out situation. But as we got the 200 right here, I'm going to draw this up. I'm definitely going to be liking this strategy, I think. So we have kind of a fallen wedge right here out of the snake. What the heck? Oh, I got the wrong thing on there. We got a little fallen wedge. I was going to draw a snake out of this, but we'll just make it a fallen wedge. So as we started to pull down, we hit the 200 SMA, and this is usually right when I take the trade if I want to take it off the 200 SMA. But when we're coming out of a snake, out of a knife, out of a sharp decline, I want to let it break out and pull back and kind of create some kind of pattern. I want to keep my eye on the 20 and the 200. So I'm sitting here watching this thing go down. Now I've got a fallen wedge. This is a little bit different trading strategy. I mean, this is basically the same moving averages, the same idea, but I'm going a little bit deeper into it. So we got two fallen wedges. This is on the 2-minute time frame, and that's the time frame that I'll be using. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is a sweet spot. We have 2 bodies and a wick. We have 3 bodies. So once we broke out of that, and we respected, and we noticed that the 20 SMA is lined up with the 200 SMA and holding up, that means this stock's going to be bullish unless it dips on down below it. But this is falling wedge out of a snake gives me the aftermath that I might want to go ahead and stay in this trade. So as it broke out, I had approximately 2 minutes to think about taking this trade off the 200 SMA and also off the 20 SMA. So let's say I did jump in the trade, but let's say I jumped it in on this strategy alone. We've got the 20. So now as long as I respect the 20, I want to stay in the trade. But as I started to go up, my resistance level would be this here triple top. We got the wick, body, and body. So that's going to be my exit idea. Could be one of them. You know, if I had ants in my pants, I'd go ahead and get out this double top right here, then watch this pull back and say, okay, we got 3 good hammers right here. I think I'm bullish. I want to get back in the trade and run it up to a double top. 3 white soldiers is a continuation pattern on the 2-minute time frame. So this basically spells a lot that I use on the 1 minute, a little bit more cleaner, but I'm going to be using the 2 minute with the 20. So as we hit the double top, I got out of the trade. Then we came back and we sit here again with another triple bottom, and then we got this here spinning top or hammer, which is a very strong bullish off these 3 black crows on the 2 minutes. So I'm set up to take this trade again. Connect that. Whoop. Ah. Yeah, this is beautiful. You know, charting is going to be a little bit adjustable for me. 1 wick, body, body. So we got 3 bodies and 1 wick, and then we've got this little setup right here. That's called a fallen wedge. We respected the previous top, and that's right where we pulled back to, that double top. Broke out. You got a triple top right here, you're out of the trade. So that would have been a short 6-7 minute tweezer top. So let's go. This is when we had the big knife yesterday. So I've got the 20 and the 200. Got the big knife. I jumped in this trade early. I thought I could take it off this here area right in here, get that close, and maybe bounce off that close. And it kind of did bounce off the close, but it didn't last. It didn't last, and it kept on going down. So look where it went down to. Right down to that fallen wedge that we had the previous day. Found support. So I found some kind of support. Now I've got a tweezer bottom with an inverted hammer, which is a bullish signal. Run it on up if I wanted to get in that trade right there. If not, this 20 is pulling down to the 200. So, and we got a parabolic run running on this trade. So maybe I want to jump in this trade as this thing starts to get close to the 200 and take a guess that this thing's going to respect the 200 SMA. Then we came back down here and hit the 200 SMA again. Now the buy signal here is the higher lows on these candles. Then you lead out with 3 white soldiers. So you got it probably go in small there until it breaks the 200. And then if you can jump in it and sell it after the 3rd soldier with a tweezer top, that would be a great idea. And then you realize, heck, we're still respecting the 20. We got a doji. I'm going to jump in this trade on this doji, tweezer bottom, and run it up again. So I think this strategy is going to be really helpful for me. See how it respects the 20 SMA. And here you've got an ascending triangle set up that I called out on Friday. Ascending triangle breaks out. Still respecting the 20. Staying in that trade all that time. I've got a little bit worried right here, but as long as we held that support level, I would have stayed in the trade. And we had the higher lows. And same right here. You're still bouncing off that 20, and you stay in it until close, until that thing ever gets up. And you create your stop losses on your previous highs. So I think this is going to be a good strategy for adding it to my discipline. I'm going to be looking for a case study on the 2-minute using the 200 SMA. And let's go to the SPY. SPY was another good trade I took. I mean, this sucker. I made some money on this one. I nailed this trade perfect. But I didn't really nail it. I nailed it, but I did nail it. Because I should have waited. I got in again a little too early. I had to cost average down. I don't want to clear up everything. I just want to get rid of this. So I had support levels. I had a pivot point, 738 right here, 738.31, a low support of 736.35, and then the first support at 740.38. We nailed that. I mean, practically nailed the pivot point, 738.31.27. I mean, nailed it. And this is on the 5-minute. Then she did the snake, breakout, pulled back, right to this previous support that I had. And I had this all charted before the bell rung. I mean, this was an excellent play. So basically, I nailed it, but my entries weren't the best until we got to this point right here, and I ran that sucker up. Man, I made some real good money on this trade right here, because this thing depreciated down pretty big, and I got in at 140. Run it up to about $3. So I'll be using again the case study. Now you've got the 20 crossing down over the 200. We're going to use it like a death cross with the 50 SMA crossing down over the 200. We're going to call it a death cross. So I'm sitting here this morning, and I'm getting ready to call this trade out, and I see an inverse head and shoulders. And we bounced off that previous first support. So I'm watching that 20 as it crossed down over the 200. Tweezer bottom. Didn't lose any respect once it broke out of it, kind of just for a couple minutes, and then it just went ahead and ran on up. Well, right here you got an inverse head and shoulders, and right here you got an inverse head and shoulders. So you got your snake breakout pullback to the right shoulder of this inverse head and shoulders. You jump in the trade. You're thinking it could pull back again and hit that right shoulder the second time, but actually it created a new inverse head and shoulders right here, and it run up and hit the 200, and you're out at a double top. Unless you want to stay in it because you're still above the 9, and that keeps you in the trade until the end of the day. Now SPY, I'll trade the lotto until noon, and then if I want to keep trading it, I'll go into the next day and start buying calls there, because it kind of depreciate too much for me on the same day after 12 o'clock. So we stayed in the 9. I mean, this is the 5 minute, so let's go to the 2 minute. This is the time frame that I'm going to be using. Same thing. 2 minute, we got the inverse head and shoulders. Here we got a straight across inverse head and shoulders. Breaks up to the 200. Keeps riding the 200 all the way up for the rest of the day. Set your stop losses at the previous. I mean, if you want to really, on the pullback, I mean, it held pretty good right there on that previous high. So I'd have probably still stayed in that trade because I was up so much from this entry down here on that right shoulder the second time. I'm going to be using this case study, so let's go over this one more time before I shut this down. Summary. I'm going to be using the 2 minute time frame. I'm going to be using the regular color red and green candlesticks. I'm going to keep using my chart patterns, and I'm using my moving averages, which will be, this case study will be the 20 SMA and the 200 SMA, and we're going to see how this goes. You know, we got so many different, it's a clean chart. It's a clean chart. Sometimes, you know, I trade the 1 minute, but I've been trading stocks for 22 years. So I like trading the 1 minute. I can get a lot more trades in. But this week we're going to be using the 2 minute on display, and I'm going to be using 1 minute on the side screen. So that's it. My name's Washboardjim. This is how I do it. This is how you should do it. Come up with a new case study every week. Try to develop a system that is trade almost any kind of day. If it's a bad day, if it's a good day, if it's a slow day, if it's a fast day, you know, you got to recognize what kind of day it is. And I think by allowing me to use that 20 SMA is going to tell me which is bullish or bearish, and the 200 SMA is going to be my entry idea. And then the crossovers and whatever else I learned this week. So, again, my name's Washboardjim. I'm the founder of the Sneaky Snake Trading Strategy. And if you really want to learn, you got to watch this whole video. And have a great day.